What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some They Are Billions. I've been having just a ton of fun with this game. Very, very difficult, but I finally did get my first 100% win, and I was able to get the very last fight confirmed. So Thanatos definitely proved to be the guy, and I did pretty much all Thanatos and snipers. I did take any of the leftover rangers I had spread throughout the map and threw them into towers just because I didn't really know what to expect, and I knew that a big part of it was all about the AoE. But basically just stacked up walls with executors at every perimeter, or just about every perimeter, and then I also have some interior protection from just the expanding process. I left all of the old defenses in place as I expanded outward, and so I've got a second level of protection, and there's a couple of sketchy choke points that I end up getting a little bit lucky on, as just there wasn't a large amount of mobs that hit them, and then a couple of other check areas that were really built up heavily didn't get near as much action as I thought they were. But holy smokes, the frame drop that everyone talks about is definitely the real deal. And let's just kind of go through at 100% or at 200% speed here. So going at double speed just to show you all exactly what I did and where I panicked and where I guess what I did right and what I did wrong in various areas. Now the towers that I put in here were definitely an afterthought. I kind of threw them in at the last minute just because I wanted to just have as much there as possible. I did get just about, not every one of the ballistas on the map, but most of the ballistas upgraded to executors. I did prioritize that. Some of the ballistas that were like a second or even third layer of protection, I didn't bother upgrading. I just kind of left them there. And then I also, in some of the areas where I walled out quite a ways, I did throw some snipers in towers just to get a little additional range. Now this particular area here, I thought I had it built up fine, but just having those snipers, the Thanatos that were up there in those towers, it ends up getting pushed really hard. See, one of my exterior little farms, I had it walled in, but it gets overrun almost instantly, and coming in pretty much hot from every side. I didn't really have very many points that didn't receive any attack at all throughout the course of it. And I don't know if that's just the way I ended up expanding out or exactly why, but everything took pain. Everything got beat on to some extent, no doubt about it. Now throughout the course of the run, I did focus very heavily on the economy, and I did get the gold up where my gold income was over 2,000. Once it hit the 2,000, upgrading those ballistas to executors was nothing. It seemed like every few seconds you were throwing an upgrade on another one, as just so much gold was rolling in. Now this north area, I actually went up to that area the very last, and the reason being is there was a Doom Village right there that I was trying to avoid at the start of the playthrough, and then I ended up expanding in other ways. So I just kind of threw a ballista and some walls up there and made it through the entire game without any issues at that entrance. However, this entrance definitely gets pushed the hardest and has the greatest risk, even though it is just such an awesome one-tile choke point there. Just a line of walls it buys you an enormous amount of time. These other sides that I had all decked out with just several tiers of walls going on at the end didn't get half of the pressure as that one choke point did. So as you see here, I've entered panic mode and sending everything that's loose on the map that's not actively engaged up to help out in that area. And it ends up saving the day here in the end, and eventually I just let it run just to see what happened. But at this point right here at that top section, I was definitely starting to panic quite a bit. And I tell you, it is no joke. Now I didn't clear the map. You can see on the mini-map, I cleared a lot of it, but I didn't even clear half of the map, probably. The entire northwest, southwest, and southeast, I never went down into those corners at all. I did go and clear out the northwest corner, and, you know, still new at the game, so still kind of pacing the economy and the growth. And then also, with all of the losses I've had so far, this was actually my 20th run. So this village was named Doomed 20. And it seems like the 20th time was the charm, as was finally able to get the job done. Now I'm anxious to check out the other maps. However, I also do want to try to play this map again at a higher difficulty at some point really soon. And eventually, you know, maybe get to the point where I can play the max difficulty maps if I stick with the game long enough, of course. But there is my very first win in They Are Billions. That's map 1 at 100%. I was too stubborn to drop down to a lower difficulty and insisted on playing to 100%, so it did take me quite a few tries before I finally got my first win. Like I said, it's a balance between when do you secure versus when do you spend that time expanding instead. And getting the right mix of that down is definitely crucial to the game, as if you expand out too quick, you're going to end up losing from just a random horde or whatever. However, if you expand out too slowly, you just don't have the economy late game to make it happen. A little last minute panic mode over in this corner, as well as the hordes finally really started to thin out, but this side was getting pushed heavily, and I didn't want to just give it all away right there at the end. So just filled everything I could with walls and moved as many troops down there as I could. And like I said, lucky enough, got the win, was able to get the job done, was pretty stoked about it. I actually scared the wife with my jumping out of my seat when I saw the win screen. So once again, They Are Billions, map 1, 100%, and I was lucky enough to finally get the job done. So thank you again, and I will see you soon.